Hello, designers. I am going to walk you through a problem that is really common with working with the DOM. Okay, notice here we have this lovely for loop. It's an affirmation and it's my mantra of the day. And you can see based on this for loop that I'm writing to the DOM, my mantra of the day is what you do today can improve all your tomorrows. Okay. But then you'll notice that it's not the same for each one. But that was my intention. My intention was to do a loop where all of these said that my mantra of the day is. So let's take a look and see why this is not happening. Well, so we go here and we've got this constant affirmation. Well, first we have our for. We have um, the how long the loop is going to last. Z equals 0, z as long as z equals 0 starting, and then as long as z is less than 3, then we're going to keep going to z plus plus until we get to that. So we're starting at 0. That's why there's 4 elements down here. So we have this constant affirmation, and I declare that variable with a constant because it's inside that function. So it's a local variable. I don't have to use variable or let. All right, and then I have this document.write affirmation plus with a break. So I'm wanting this to be an HTML element. And I'll give you a hint that the only reason why this works is because of the method I'm using, the document.write. We will see there's an actual real way to add HTML within elements in the DOM. All right, and then next, on the next line, I've got this LP. I want to just kind of put something in. I want to find this loop, get element by ID, which I do. Okay, so right now what I've done is I've actually, if I take this out, let me just see. Okay, so if I just take this out real quick. What I've done is I've only written I've only written that affirmation, okay? And then you'll notice that, well, that's because LP is no longer defined, right? So let's put it back in here. Now, because LP is now defined, I have this initial, my mantra of the day. Here is the problem, though. We have this innerHTML, and let me show you what innerHTML does. Look up some documentation on it. So you can find some of this information in your book, but Geeks for Geek actually says it much better. We actually don't want to use, sorry. Okay, all these pop-ups. JavaScript pop-ups after a certain time. It's an event, right? Anyways, so the innerHTML property, it's part of the DOM that is used to set or return the innerHTML content of an element. And that right there, we have to say, it's great because we can actually bring in text from we can bring in strings from HTML, and we can bring it to our DOM and then we can manipulate it. But there are some issues, and what's happening is that the content is replaced. So there's not appending. It's not, it says, appending to an HTML tag using HTML, the whole tag is reparsed. So basically what's happening here is that it's replacing. It's saying, okay, well, we still have this, but we're going to replace this. We're going to write now. We're going to write. So here we go. All right. First of all, document.write, okay, is simply writing to the DOM. It's not writing inside an element. It's like writing in the body or at the bottom of the body even, right? I think it is actually at the bottom of the body because that's what's happening here. Well, so it's skipping, it's almost like it does this document right, the affirmation, and it checks that. It's like, okay. But then this supersedes it. It's like, oh, inner HTML. I need to do my mantra of the day is affirmation. And then when it starts the loop again, it sees automatically this and it says, oh, well, write that. And then if it goes down here to inner HTML, well, this is the thing that is actually being put inside the div. What's happening here is that in this inner HTML, this is the one that's actually being called to the loop. So it's being written inside the divider, but then the loop happens and it goes in and it writes that affirmation because of the document.write, but then it goes back and it replaces the inner HTML again. Because if we look, we've got 4 lines. And the way that the for statement is written, there should only be 3 lines. It should be, my mantra of the day is what you can do today, blah, 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 like 3 times, okay? So let's take a look at what we need to do to append text. And for this, I'm going to use another awesome article. To append text to an element, we actually have to create nodes. Now, nodes are simply lines of text, and it's a specific text node. We can't add HTML elements with a node, and that's what we have to do in order to get 4 lines. So we actually have to alter the HTML, right? And there's this special way to alter the HTML. Here it is. So append HTML to an element, and that's what we're doing. We have to insert adjacent HTML. This before end is what we want to do because before end is basically saying before we end the element, put in this thing. I'm going to take this code and I am going to put it in our loop. Okay, so we have this constant affirmation. That's fine because I do want to show you how to how to use string appending and all of that. But this is where we need to change it. So it's not document.write. This is, well, let's do this later, okay? Because first we need to do this constant, okay? Let's get this up there. Okay, we have this constant and we're getting the element by ID. And now we're going to text equals document dot create text node. Let's make sure. I think that's right. Create text node. Yay. Okay. Create text node. Parentheses. Oh, I don't know if you guys probably can't hear that because I don't have the computer on. I don't have computer audio on, but I can. Okay, and then we're going to create this text node, and I am going to make this. It's going to be all of this. Put that in here. Okay. Oh wait, I have to do something different. Create text node. Didn't work. It goes. Aha. Okay. That should work. A lot of you aren't ending. Whoops. First. Oh, what's happening here? Extra. Okay, okay. And this parentheses. There we go. I think, well, maybe I don't have that. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, okay. So now I get rid of this inner HTML. I definitely don't want that. I also don't want this, right? I don't want it. So notice right now, we have it 3 times. Okay, so we have it 0, 1, 2, and it's less than 3. created the text node. Now we're going to actually write to our text node. So we're appending. Appending is adding to. If you're appending something, you're going to add to it. Okay, so we're creating the text node, and now we're appending to that text node. So we're appending to the element. So now we go in and we say, call our getElementById variable, appendChild, and that's what's happening. So we're making a child, which is nice, okay? So I have an object. My object is the LP, and it's dot append child, and then I'm going to call my text. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this. Okay, well, look at that. There we go, right? That's it. No, that's not it. That's not it. So what do I want to do? This is fine. I mean, I've done a loop and, look at it. It's all going across. But that's weird. That's not how we read. We want a break, right? So I could put a break right at the end of this. Let's see. No, it didn't like it. So it doesn't like it. So we have to go back and we have to say, okay, it doesn't like that. But, here we have append HTML to an element. Okay, so we actually have to modify the HTML because we want that break. We take this LP. So instead, it's LP dot insert adjacent HTML. And how about this? So this is different. Okay, so I have this insert HTML. I'm gonna close. A lot of you aren't putting semicolons. JavaScript is smart. It knows you have a semicolon, but it's best practice to keep on putting semicolons, even though you technically don't need them. Just like if somebody doesn't use constant or let or var to declare a variable, that is really bad practice. Okay, so right now we're doing before int, okay, comma, and then we're going to, let's take this and let's put this here, okay. Now we're doing it even more, okay. And then let's see, so now I don't need this. I don't need this child, right? Because now, there we go, I'm inserting adjacent HTML. Okay, so now I need the HTML though, right? Okay, so, and because I'm saying that it's HTML, I can type HTML. You notice that when we were doing this with just appendChild, it thought it was just text. And so because it wasn't just text, I wanted HTML too. It didn't work. Let's go back over here. And after this, I'm going to do a break. There we go. All right. So here is my loop for making it so that I have my mantra. My mantra of the day is what you do today can improve all your tomorrows. So there it is. I hope this clarifies some of this this document object model. There's some of the things that we just learned. Of course, I think a lot of us have gotten familiar with the getElementById because we've been using it since day one. But it's this new create text node. Okay, this is something that we have to do. We have to say, hey, we're going to put something inside this element. And yeah, and then sometimes we're even creating so in this case, we're inserting adjacent HTML. What if I made this I just want to do this for fun. So what if I made this a paragraph and I ended my paragraph? Look at that. So I can actually, I can have all my HTML in here and just boom, I put it all in there, which is fantastic. right? But I still have the create text node. Do I need it? Honestly, I don't know. Let's see. I don't need it. Okay, so that was just extra code, right? Because that makes sense. Because what I'm doing is I'm saying, well, I didn't just want text. I don't want to create a text node. I want to create a whole HTML element. So I either can do an HTML element or this insert adjacent HTML. I did this with the Avengers loop, right, where we had it as bullet points in an unordered list. That is how I did this. I'd be interested. Let's see. Let's see. So if I changed this to an unordered list, okay, and look at that. Look at that. And now instead of paragraph, I had this as a list and end list. What happens? Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. That's great. That's great. Okay. And then I could put CSS in here. I could style it. I can also go in and style after the fact. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to use another favorite resource. Of course, you can find this in your book, but if you know the right thing to search on the internet, you can get every piece of information and learn JavaScript right from the internet for sure. I hope that, I hope that this is also beneficial. All right, so right now okay, here's the third one. W3 schools, I love it. It's fantastic. So we're going to change the CSS and the HTML DOM, right? So we're going to get this element by ID, we're going to style it, and we're going to make a property, okay? So this changes the style of a P element. Okay, well, let's see. What if I want to add some space? Let's see. Can I go in and can I say after? Let's try it after outside of the loop. Let's say, okay, document dot get elements by ID style dot style, right? Dot style. Wait. Okay. Let's see. Obviously, I have to say this by ID dot style. This is I'm gonna make this all list. Okay. And then I'm gonna make a style, and I'm gonna say dot property, right? Dot property, yeah. Property for me is line spacing. Oh wait, line spacing. Oh, let's see, margin bottom. Okay. Maybe I need to make sure that okay, that we have, well, let's give it a try. Okay. Margin bottom and then equals new style equals quote new style is going to be, let's see, margin bottom equals 12 pixels, or wait, 14 pixels. Oh, it just breaks everything. You see that? Look at that. Invalid assignment left hand side. All right. So it doesn't like, it's like, that is not an ID. Oh, duh. It's not an ID. Okay. Element. No? Left hand side. Okay. It's like get element by ID. Get element by tag. Let's see, get element by tag. I believe this is the one. Let's see, tag. There it is. Get element by tag name. All right. Tag name list. Okay, let's try this. Tag name. Okay, let's see. Tag name list. Huh? Not yet. Okay, it doesn't like it. What if it's UL? Left hand side. All right, let's see. Nope, not tag name. That's like all of the bad. Okay, okay. Get attribute node. Get. Let's see. Well, what if it's by class name? Let's see. What if we did this? Okay. Element, okay, get element by ID my div. And then element dot get elements by class name. Ah, okay. What if we did this? Do we have to have Oh, you know what? We have to have it inside our loop. Okay, the reason why I'm saying we have to have it inside our loop is because there's an array. Ah, so we have to have the array. All right, let's check this out. Check this out. Okay, so I'm gonna take this out and it's like, okay, but I'm gonna give this a class. Class equals child, whatever. They're using child, so why not? Okay, so we have this class. All right. And now I'm gonna do element. Let's see. So this whole thing, which I already have as let's see, this guy, LP. So now I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna say, okay, LP dot get element by class name. And then I'm gonna say child. And then in here, I'm gonna put, sorry, I just wanted to make sure I have this. In here, I'm gonna put Z. Okay. And then Z dot style. And then D dot style. And then dot margin bottom equals 14 pixels. Oh, let's put it in here. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Font size equals. Ooh, what? Look at that. Why is that there? Hold on, let's check this out. Ah, okay. So, here it is. Function. Okay. Element, get element by class name. Okay, 24. All right. Is it margin? Ooh, okay. I think I just have this wrong. Let's see. Bottom? No. Element by class name. Elements. Oh, see? Oh my goodness. Syntax. And this is the annoying part is a type error. It's not a function. And the reason, so for me, I'm like, okay, it's not a function. That means I probably have the name wrong because I'm looking at documentation. Oh, finally. Whew. All right. I was getting worried there. Okay, cool. All right. So look at what I did. That's fun, right? I did something fun. So I not only gave it a class, but then I also um styled it. Okay. So all of this, notice this is all in the DOM, right? So we're writing to the DOM. And this is I don't know. The DOM is an API. And it writes to the viewable page, right? But over here in our actual HTML code, we don't see any of that. But over here in our JavaScript, this is all being written to the DOM, so it knows about these, right? It knows that it exists, and it knows that there's class names because it's written to the DOM. It's almost like there's HTML also and CSS also being written there. All right. Okay. So, so many other things we could do, but I hope this helps clarify and kind of take you to the next level with using the DOM and loops and all that good stuff.